Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the GWE100. It's the tier 10 German SPG. This one's got 2 marks of excellence on it because it belongs to randyxx777 of the WAR clan or War clan, and he's appeared on our channel several times before, but I've actually accumulated a few videos of his, so we're going to have a double feature on this one. Well, it's a big beast, but unfortunately it didn't exist. I'm afraid they didn't make an Arty out of the E100 because they only have 1 tank and it was only partially completed at the end. They had the hull, but they didn't even have a turret. In fact, it was supposed to have the turret of the mouse, but they never got to put it on. The GWE100 has similar features to the E100. Of course, it has the skirts, which protect the tracks from blast. But one thing it does have is the engine up front rather than at the back. And on top of that, it does have a 21cm howitzer, which is, as you can see, capable of 900 alpha, 53mm pen, 11.4 meters on the burst radius, 12.5 to 31 seconds of stun, and a nice direct hit for his first shot in the 430U. Tier 10 gain, only tier 10 tanks in it. Moving position immediately to avoid counter battery. Okay, that's a nice spot. He did knock over a couple of trees that could have given away his position, but I don't think the enemy Arty is actually concerned at the moment. He's hitting our tanks, so we're doing the same in reciprocation. Rounds out. Oh, now that's interesting. I think that shell hit a tank that wasn't spotted. We did see an E100 and a mouse sitting alongside each other, but the shell didn't hit either of those two. It looked like they got splashed, and that there was a tank just ahead of them who took the brunt of that shot, and it might be a rhinoceros. There he is. Yep, he was the one who actually took the shell, and he is missing some hit points. So I think, yes, he was the one who got the shot. Now, we're lining it up, but we don't know where the guy's gone because we've lost sight of him. He's marked the ground to say to his teammates, I'm looking in that direction. That's what I want to hit. Oh, loads of tanks together. Yep, he fired that one in. It looks like the direct hit was on the rhinoceros, but he splashed the E100 as well. Notice how it's an open top Arty. It does get rid of the fumes quicker, but of course it does make the tank vulnerable to airbursts. Of course, it was the Americans who actually came up with the idea of creating a shell which actually could know when it was going to hit the ground, or just before it hits the ground, so that the shell could detonate in the air and then scatter shrapnel over a much wider area. In fact, they did the same thing with the airburst shells that were actually used to bring down aircraft. In fact, it was quite an ingenious design because they had to devise a way or a set of electronics inside the shell so that it could actually get a proximity hit on the enemy. So it knew it was near an enemy because of the electronics could tell that there was something there. And the way it did that is because it had a capacitor which could check ahead of the shell that it was actually, there was something in the way or something nearby that was changing the magnetic flux, I believe. So it actually knew that there was something in the path or nearby and would then detonate. The problem was actually making a battery that could survive the explosion or the detonation, or the not the detonation, the firing of the shell, because of course most batteries that we used back in those days weren't the lithium state that we have today. No, they were actually quite fragile, and they needed quite a bit of power to operate the electronics. So it couldn't be a sort of like zinc oxide arrangement. They actually had to have something which was producing a chemical reaction, a burst of energy that was enough to actually operate all the electronics. Lined up, round out, there we go. Unfortunately, it landed on the side next to him. It was actually ingenious ideas that the Americans received from all over the world, mostly from Britain though, because a whole load of technical secrets that the British engineers had actually put together. They took this this treasure of information and designs over to America, and the American was it the American secretary of one of the secretaries of state, or one of the designers, said it was the greatest treasure that ever came to American shores, because of course it was all the secrets that the British had devised, such as the complicated radar that the British had actually come up with, including the cavity magnetron, which was a design of radar that the Germans also kind of had. They'd actually designed their version. We had a version as well. But the cavity magnetron, what was important about it was that it had the ability to search for targets which were very, very low, at a very low wavelength. So they can actually search and hunt for the German U-boats by having radars in the air. And of course, it enabled them to put these radars on board ships as well as on other equipment, aircraft and the like. And that greatly enhanced our ability to actually hunt and kill the enemy. Now, of course, the proximity shells that the Americans were firing, again, they had a kind of glass fuel cell, which, when the shell fired, would actually break the glass within the battery itself, and then for a brief moment that the shell existed, as it was flying up to meet the aircraft, the battery would be operating, and it would actually know, well, it could detect the enemy aircraft when it got close to him. Of course, if it didn't detect the enemy aircraft, the shell would then detonate, or at least it would either crash into the ocean, or it would actually crash into the ground, depending on where it was fired. Well, the enemy seems to be being pushed back, and in fact we've won in the Magic Forest, and now they're kind of being pushed into the northwest corner of the map. They're putting up stiff resistance though, making it very difficult for our guys. We've got a pair of E-900s there. We're working that corner. Now, can we get a shot on this Rhinoceronte? It'd be nice if we could take him out. He's very low hit points, and he could go out with one shot, but I think he also wants to get this Minotauro. Those buildings are getting in the way. The 277 is a one shot, but he would need to get a direct hit. He does! Wonderful. 259 hit points, but it is a kill. And that helps our E-900s, because they're not getting shot in the side. Now he needs to either take out that Minotauro or the Rhinoceronte, who pulled back with bad damage. You can see he's hiding in the bushes. That's why they knocked the trees down. In the meanwhile, the mouse, who's got a considerable amount of hit points, he's pulled back as well. And the E-900, well, he's using the ridgeline to his advantage on using the ground, the terrain. We've got an M5Y at the back, rounds out, and near him, 177, that's a good amount. This looks like it's an equally matched team on both sides, and even though the enemy is being pressured, even being pressured in their rear as well, we're only one tank up on the enemy. And we're loaded again. Who can we hit? Well, this Leopard 1 would suffer. Now, got to remember, it's a long flight time for the shell. He backs in and takes a hit. 93 hit points, but he is going to go down because he really got hit by two. And there he goes. The Progetto 65 takes out the Leopard 1. And now we're two up on the enemy. This battle is so strong that the EBR 105, instead of being a scout tank, is actually now playing almost as a sniper up there in the north. That E-100 needs to pull back. He is badly wounded, and so's our other E-100. And it's good that that Randy did tell him to pull back, but unfortunately the enemy Arty knew where he was, and he's in the corner. He's up in the northwest corner of the map. You can see that he managed to get the shell. Now, work on the basis he's going to turn on that ridgeline. Rounds out. Oh, so close. We might have actually got a bombardier there. Both tanks were very low on hit points. Their E-100 and their mouse have gone down, so they're now 3 down. Okay, we're having difficulty with these ones. The M5Y, of course, the Yo tank. Okay, can we get a shot on this ST62 version 2? Lined up, rounds out, and he moves just after we fire. But they've lost their M5Y, and now we're only 2 ahead now. But there's only 4 enemy tanks left. The Rhinoceronte, the Leopard, the ST, and who else? The Object 261, who's in the corner. He's a little further back from those trees. He's not too far away, because of the angle of the shot that enabled him to get the E-100 at the middle. But we're running kind of short on time now. 4¼ minutes to go. You can see on hit points, they've got far more hit points than our guys do. We just have the numerical advantage in guns at the moment, and barrels. And unfortunately, at the moment, Randy is kind of inactive, and we need him to be active to be pumping those shells out at the enemy. He's looking for a counter battery at the moment to look for those Arty tracers. Well, he got that one into the bushes. You look for hiding places where you think the enemy might be. Some Arty will actually sit out in the open. It's true. They don't make use of any camo, but a lot of Arty, even myself, will immediately go for the first bit of camo that you can get, the first tree you can actually hide behind. Okay, that ST62, we fire the round in, he backs up. Oh, takes a bit of splash and a bit of stun. And stun's useful. He's fighting it out with the M60 only a short distance away. Their Rhinoceronte's been kind of cornered now. We could certainly help on him. And I think he's seen it. Yep, there we go. He's a splash kill. So we only need to get the round near him and he's out the game. Rounds out. Here we go. Oh, that RNG. Really bad. It went long. That wasn't a fault. Oh, unfortunately, we lose the 60 TP. So ideally, we need that Rhinoceronte out of the game. It's only 18 hit points, but that guy is an extra barrel, and he is doing damage. Okay, we're loaded. We've worked out the track. Rounds out, and got him. He only needed to land the shell near him, and he got him. So there's only 3 enemies left, but there's only 3 left on our team. And they've got more hit points than we do. 2-minute warning. So this guy is being really difficult. And it's a new tank. I haven't seen this one before. I'm wondering if this is a reward tank or it's one that's being tested and it's been given to somebody who's rather good. Oh, that was a direct hit on the ST62. He did get a hit there. Shell disappeared without an explosion. Well, the ST62's got 2 kills. So's the Object 261. The Leopard 1 driver has only got 1 kill, though. Now, we're way at the back. And in fact, actually, now one of our teammates has come back to protect us. And it is the Leopard 1. Now, I kind of get the feeling that they're going to settle for a draw now, because there's just no way we can find and kill the enemy Leopard 1, whilst that ST2 is, of course, being a complete and utter nuisance. I think it must be that player who's the one who's actually caused the most grief. Probably because it is a top player. Knocking down the tree actually would give away his position. I just hope that the 261 driver wasn't looking. But the fact that he hasn't fired any shells for a while might be down to the fact he can't see us, or he could have run out of ammo. 261s can run out of ammo during a battle. It is possible. I've done it myself. Last 20 seconds, and this ST62 is a one-shot, rounds out. Oh, RNG, you cruel mistress. That shell should have wiped out the ST2. It was aimed at the spot nearby him, and all that happened was the shell went long and over the top. And we've just lost the Leopard 1. He was taken out by the ST62, and that's it. Draw. Here's the end of battle results, and I'm afraid that Randy XXX777 only managed to get a bruiser medal out of that game. That's all. Nothing else. He did try hard, but unfortunately, he wasn't able to get anything more out of it because, well, both teams were equally matched. You can see the highest scorer in the game turned out to be the Leopard 1 on the enemy team. 4,892 hit points of damage went to that guy. That was the one that I think we took out, or at least Randy took out. At least I think it was. We'll just check that. No, it's not the one he took out, but I think he did damage that guy. Just checking. No, he didn't actually damage that one either. So that guy got away without being hit by Randy. He hit, I think, the other one. But yes, 4,892 went to him. Second highest was our UDIS 1516, who got 4,254. And the third highest, well, that went to that ST62, who managed 4,173. You can see Randy got 3,306. And that means he was beaten by 5 of the enemy team and 3 on his own team, which puts him in 9th place when it comes to damage. When it came to kills, he managed to get 2 kills, but the high scorer was that ST2. He got 4 kills in the game. In joint second place, Randy got 2. The EBR 105, the Progetto, and the UDIS 1516 on his own team. And on the enemy team, their Object 261, the Leopard, the Rhino Sorrente, and the Object 277 all got 2 kills as well. So, yes, it was a very evenly matched team. It looked like we were winning at one point, but no, it went pear-shaped. 698 for the Object 277. And in second place, we've got the ST2 with 676. And in third place, it's the UDIS 1516 with 666. Followed by Randy. Actually, after the E900 on the enemy team, he got 600. And their Leopard 1 got 596. So Randy's a little further down. Actually, if we look at this, we can see that there are 5 again who got higher base XP than Randy did, and only 1 on his own team, which means he's 7th when it came to base XP. But of course, both teams don't get the bonus unless, of course, they did well. Let's have a look at the detail. He fired 25 rounds in that game. You get 30 rounds of ammunition in the GWE900. So he used all but 5, and a lot of the shells that he didn't fire was because his teammates just weren't spotting for him, or they couldn't spot because the enemy was just too good. If they tried to poke their heads up and find out where the enemy was, they were going to get them blown off. In fact, it didn't help that our EBR 105 ended up being a sniper rather than a scout. If he had been a scout, he might have been able to find out where the enemy Arty was. We might have been able to shut him down. Got 8 direct hits, so yes, he was getting some good RNG, but no penetrations and 25 splashes. 3,306, all of it at more than 300 meters. Damaged 11 of the enemy, killed 2 of them. Did 2,346 hit points of stun assist off 25 stuns. So a fair amount of stun assist damage, but not enough for a mastery in this game. On a free-to-play account, he actually made a loss of 1,339 credits, but not to worry because that's down to the consumables more than anything. And 584 base XP and no multipliers, so that's all he took away. So yes, he says when RNG says no and all the bad things happen. Well, true. Twice during that game, I saw some absolutely appalling RNG. And of course, you saw that with the ST2, that ST69 rather. That guy managed to dodge a shell that was coming in, should have hit him, or should have landed on the ground next to him and wiped him out. But no, he managed to dodge it, and also other tanks as well. They had incredible luck, the enemy team, but they were actually preserving their hit points all the way through the game, and our guys seemed to have the advantage just because we were more aggressive, we had more barrels, although less hit points, but in the end, the enemy just managed to take advantage of their hit points, and it ended up a draw. In fact, they were lucky that it did end up a draw, because if their guy had been fast enough, they might have been able to find Randy and win. So, yeah, that might have been inconvenient. So that's the end of the first game. He got a draw. What will he get in the next game? In the second game, Randy is now on the Glacier map on the northeast corner. And there's 2 Arty per team in this game. Game on. Well, he's got an Object 261 for his companion. Although the 261 doesn't have any marks of excellence, and as you see, Randy does have 2 himself so far. Won't be long before he gets his third. Okay, he's backed up enough. He can't go further up the slope, because if he did, it would actually decrease his range rather than increase. You're pointing the gun at the ground by doing that. Enemy tank spotted in the background, an IS-4. No tanks nearby, though. You might be able to get a shot on these guys. Oh, the 60 TP stopped for a take a shot, and... well, he certainly attracted the lightning there, because 2 Arty shells came in from the same direction at the same time. They both picked the same target. Unfortunately, there wasn't enough lead because the target was at long range. Oh, he's knocked the tree down. Yeah, better off actually... oh, he's decided to sit behind it. Okay, there is an enemy tank near the entrance to the carrier, and we are loaded. The standard reload, 37.39 seconds. Randy's got 28.85. Nice little splash. Changes positions. He did knock that hut over as well. That's an indication to the enemy. Oh, and he's knocked the boat as well. All of these are signs to the enemy. This is where you are. But he's almost loaded. I think the enemy Arty is focusing on our tank, so I don't think we need to worry there. The enemy Arty in this one are about at 155.58 and the T92 HMC. It's another tier 10 game with only tier 10 tanks. Well, he fires for a splash kill on the, or splash damage on the 60 TP. He gets the stun, so he is picking up stun assist off this one. Already picked up 1006 stun assist. Some of that from the T62, and of course some from the 60 TP. Oh, our Batchat 25 ton went very, very deeply into enemy lines there, attacking the K91. There's a Gorilla 15 there sitting behind the rock, but he's making it difficult for us to shoot. He's side-scraping off that rock, but he's taking huge amounts of damage. Not a very smart move for him to make. Well, we got some stun on him, and he immediately got rid of stun. I think we saw one of the tracers coming out of the little wood at the bottom, just behind the cap area. There is somebody in there. That's where one of the Artys is located. That Gorilla's still there, but he won't be there for long if he carries on doing what he's doing. He has no armor, so side-scraping's not going to work. It is the Batchat that's in that wood. The T92, if he had just fired, would not be firing again so soon. And now he's attracting the lightning. Both rounds went in. Now, you note that neither of the players actually indicating that that's where they were attacking. I think that's one of the keys to actually coordinating with your teammates. If you tell your teammates, that's where I'm attacking, that's where I'm looking, then they might be putting their shells into the same spot, or at least putting the shells into a different spot, so they can multiply the number of enemy tanks that are stunned. Now, we know that there is an enemy tank behind that rock. We're looking to put the shell in, but no sign of them at the moment. I would have actually fired and keep the shell hot. Yes, he does. Good. If that tank is there, he's probably been stunned, and that will get him unhappy. Okay, we can see the Progetto. He probably moved up after we after that shot. Okay, we've got a Foch 155 trying to maneuver around the Rex. Oh, took out our Carrows, looking in the wrong direction, I'm afraid. That wasn't good, but we can aim ahead of the path of the 155 because he is actually on the move. Now, rounds out. He does it. That was a good shot. That's exactly what I would have done. I would have anticipated the 155 going around the corner and then placing a shell right in his path so that he got splattered the moment he did. Centurion Action 10 at the bottom of that hill. Our guys are going around the their guys are going around the outside on the perimeter road. The bad news is that we've got really nothing to go up against there, and our Guerrilla 15 is down on the ice down below, and now we've got the CS63 going after our Centurion, so we really need that to support this guy. Rounds out. Good shot. 314. It says to the CS63, don't go down there. If you do, you will get hit. And the 261 hit him as well. And he did get hit there by the Guerrilla, I think. Now, the enemy are getting closer, but we do happen to have a Striv 103B who's in the sniper's area, so he can actually protect us. There's the Foch. He's on fire. Now, rounds out. Direct hit. Good shot. 452. 2 critical hits. I think it tracked him. He's fixed his tracks to get moving again. He doesn't want another shell. You can see shells are going in. Oh, yes! 328 stun assist off that one. That was the Centurion Action 10 cleaning up. There's still 2 enemy tanks. That CS63 and a Progetto going around the perimeter road. But we're looking for other targets, and we found one. It's the Guerrilla. It's not the same Guerrilla that we had before, but he's put himself in a rather inconvenient position. And we just saw the tracer from another enemy Arty. It's in the woods. He's in that set of woods there. There's the CS63. He's in the cover of that rock at the moment, so we can't do anything about that. But the Centurion is having a quick look. He might try to sneak round. We just need to get a sight of him. Okay, we're loaded. We could put a shell in there to help the Centurion. Round about there. Rounds out. Looks good. So we've helped the Centurion as much as we can there for the moment until that guy comes back into sight. We've noticed there are enemy Arty in the woods. And in fact, now somebody's indicating there's an enemy tank near the hut where the aircraft is, right on that corner. Or is it? No, it's a bit further back from there. Well, trying to upset that Guerrilla. There's definitely an Arty in those woods because we're seeing Tracer coming out from the woods. We also lost our Backtrack 25 ton to their Guerrilla. They are playing defensively on that side of the map, though. Oh, not good. The enemy Guerrillas got up onto the carrier. We didn't see that happen. Nobody was watching at the time. Our Striv actually moved to a position where he couldn't see the carrier, and the Guerrilla managed to get up that ramp without being molested. But those guys apparently are coming down the ramp. In fact, the K91, there's the Guerrilla up on top of the carrier. We can't get a shot on him because we've got a red line. The K91's coming down the ramp towards our guys. And so the Guerrilla's coming down as well. It looks like they're finding it a little too hot in that region. Now, yes, he is knocking down more than a few trees as well. That might actually help them later on if the enemy does arrive at their cap area. There's that griller, the same one we were firing at before that was sitting behind the rock way back. RNG said no on that occasion. The K91 is near their cap and he's out in the open. And the gorilla, well, he's got a better angle on that guy now. It's the same one that was actually up on the carrier, but unfortunately got no shot because he's actually hiding behind the rock. He knows about Arty cover. He knows that he's got to stay behind a rock one side to protect himself from any Arty fire. Our Striv's moved up. Our Object 261's gone up onto the carrier. So again, he managed to get up there without being molested. And they found the gorilla. Can we get a shot? And unfortunately, he's taken out our E4. So we're one down on the enemy at the moment. But we're equal near enough on hit points. And the Gorilla 15 on the enemy team has been wiped out. I think he must have been over there in the corner hiding from our guys, but the 260 managed to find him and finish him off. Okay, there's the Gorilla 15. He's in sight, but we can't get a shot. Oh, he's just been hit. We've got a red line, so we're not in a position to fire in that direction. The mountain goes against us. And our Striv 103B just took out the gorilla, so now we've got an advantage in the northwest corner because there's no enemy tanks up there as far as we know. The K91's the only unknowing tank. We don't know where he is. We think the CS-63 and the Progetto are still blocking the Centurion. They don't want to leave that area just in case we do flood through from the south. If the 260 gets hit whilst he's coming down the ramp, we'll know that they are shooting from near their cap area. Striv poked round the corner. Did he get spotted? It looks like he's poking, so we might as well put a round in there. Still got plenty of stun rounds. The CS-63 just took out our Centurion Action 10. And that's bad news because now it means that the enemy could try to come up this direction. Gorilla 15's moving around the outside. He's full health. I wonder what he's been doing all battle. I think he's been trying to stop any enemy tanks going around the perimeter. He hasn't got any kills, that guy. Okay, Striv is saying he's under fire. There's the T92. He's in sight. I think that Randy is probably busy elsewhere. He was looking elsewhere. Rounds out the T92. And his shell hits the wreck. So he would have been on target. I think our Striv is actually under fire from the T92 or the Batchat. And oh, the enemy Progetto gets the kill. And we're not loaded yet, so we can't get a shot on him. But the 260 might get a sight of that Progetto. That was the 261 firing his round in. He fires in. Nope. Didn't get anything there. We've got 1 minute 17 seconds left on the game. The K91 is up near the center line. And the 260 on our team just took damage. and he's in distress. The 261 on our team has moved to the north of the map to protect the cap area, and we're into the last minute. Oh, and unfortunately, we've lost the 260 to their Progetto. Randy's trying to climb up here so he can get close to the ring road. We've got the gorilla on the ring road, so they can't come around that way. But, oh my God, he's so close. He's actually behind us. We bounce around from the CS63, but now we're in real trouble. Oh, he fires one. He's blocked a shot twice. Twice he's blocked him, but here's one shot. We got ram damage on him. We just need to get the gun round to bear on him so we can shoot. And he stopped him. Get the gun down. Oh, the 261 comes to our rescue. But will the enemy Arty fire around it? No, they can't. Last few seconds of the game, and it almost becomes Randy's nightmare. And that's it. Game's over. It's a draw. Well, you have to wonder what that Gorilla 15 on our team was doing all game, because he had no, apparently no kills whatsoever. And he didn't see that CS63 sneak up into our cap area. And he actually found us and bounced around off us twice. Once off the rear and once off the shields over the tracks. And we did take a round eventually, but we managed to get at least spot for the Object 261, who got an accurate shot in to finish the guy off. When you actually get a position like that, and of course this tank doesn't have any gun depression at all, you have to try and auto-aim onto the target. And if the target's very flat, then it's very difficult to get the gun to bear on the target. So yes, do auto-aim onto the target to try and draw the howitzer down towards their center mass. And if you can, try and back up in a way that points the howitzer at the ground so that you can actually create artificial gun depression on the enemy and then shoot him. But he did everything he could, Randy. And for a moment, it looked like he was going to go out the game to the CS63. He was such a sneaky player that he managed to get round us in the end. He did get some ram damage off the guy, but oh my God, that one almost ended up another loss. But unfortunately, it's another draw. So that's 2 draws we've received from Randy. This one, he did get some awards. Got a first-class tanker out of that one. He also got a shell-proof by blocking more damage to the hit points to his own vehicle and surviving the battle, as well as a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In this one, he managed to get 10. And he got a Confederate as well for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. If we look at the team score, we can see the highest damage in the game actually went to our E4, who managed 7,584 hit points of damage. Second highest damage was the Gorilla 15 on the enemy team with 4,072. And the third highest damage, well, that went to the Progetto M65 on the enemy team, 3,645 hit points. Yes, the Gorilla 15 on our team, actually, I should say that this guy did actually get some damage on the enemy, and he did get a kill in the end. But this is the guy, I really got a big question mark about this guy. What was he doing to have that much help towards the end of the game? Was he actually playing at all? Is he an experienced player, or was he just somebody who's still learning the Gorilla 15? Because he really wasn't helping that much during the later stages of the game. Anyway, if we look at the number of kills, first we didn't finish the damage. I'll finish that first. So we got the third place with the Progetto 65, and we can see that Randy did get 2,361 hit points of damage. 3 players on his own team beat him, and 4 players on the enemy team, so that puts him in 8th place on damage. When it came to kills, we can see that the E4 and the Progetto 65 both got 4 kills apiece. 3 players on our team got 2 kills, the Centurion Action 10, the NC70, the Striv, and we only got no kills, actually, so that's why we got the Confederate. And so, yes, it was kind of, it helped us to get that Confederate by having no kills, because everyone we touched actually affected and gave us that award. Actually, I've just checked the Object 261 on our team. No, he didn't get a Confederate, although he did get a kill. He got the CS63. When it came to base XP, we can see that Randy's a lot higher, but he's still only 3 places down on his own team. The top scorer being the E4 again with 763, thanks to his massive damage. Second place went to the Potato 65, 572. Third place went to the Object 260 on our team with 562. And we can see that Randy, with 509 base experience points, was beaten by only 1 player on the enemy team. So he's actually in 4th place when it comes to base XP. He fired 18 rounds out of the 30 that he carried. He got 1 direct hit on the enemy. None of them penetrated, but he did get 14 splash. So he got less splashes in this game than he did the previous one, but he did get a better result in a sense. 2,361 hit points of damage, of which 2,255 were at more than 300 meters. The close range damage was actually some ramming damage on the CS63 as he was trying to kill the guy. He actually did squash him against the rock. And at that moment, he actually did get some ram damage. So that's the difference, I think, there, or at least some of the difference. 4 enemy hits from the enemy, only 1 of which penetrated, 3 non-penetrations. And of course, all of those came from the CS63, which is quite funny because he kept hitting something that wasn't going to do any damage. I think he was hitting the tracks or those shields over the tracks. And of course, the shell wasn't doing anything. 1,170 hit points of damage blocked by armor. 8 enemy vehicles damaged, none killed, but that gave him the Confederate. 147 hit points of damage assistance and 2,195 stun assists of 14 stuns. On a premium count this time, he actually made a loss of 19,205 credits, again down to the consumables. If you actually buy them when they're cheap and half price, then of course this figure never shows up in your results because of course you've got plenty of consumables sitting in your store waiting to be used, and it makes your figures look better overall over all of the games. He also picked up 1,250 experience points out of that one as well. Got the Achievements Award out of it for 324, and again up here 4,920. That's because he got the Confederate, the Battle Hero medal. So 2 different games, both draws. In the first one, of course, Murovanka, he nearly ended up going pear-shaped altogether. That could have been a loss. If the enemy had been quicker, they might have been able to find out where Randy was and take him out. As it was, they didn't, so he managed to save the day for his team because he was the last one alive. And in the second one, well, that nearly went very, very wrong right at the end, but at least they managed to pull away with a draw rather than a loss. Hope you enjoyed both of those replays. If you did, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and thank you for watching.